situation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win, yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real, yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Yeah, let 'em in. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Let 'em in. You had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win, yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real, yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well,
what the stylists don't want to do anymore. Stylists don't want to shampoo. We're even partnering with stylists. They're saying, hey, I don't have the time to shampoo, so won't you go over to the shampoo bar? We're doing steam treatments, taking braids down, locks. So you come in, we're gonna shampoo, condition, put pomade, hair growth, stimulating growth, and we're gonna actually manipulate those beards. If y'all have bundles and units, bring those in. We will bring them back to life. You drop off, we call you, you pick up. Just like a dry cleaner. We have 2 complimentary drinks. One is called the Tide. The next drink is called the Old Fashioned. And we're not going to tell you what's in any of these drinks. They are exclusive to the shampoo bar. I'm not telling you, okay? So go to our website. ShampooBarNLR.com. That's it.
Good evening. Happy Friday evening to you, broadcasting from the B-Level Entertainment Studios. I'm your host, B-Level. Tonight, we've got a special edition of On the Level with B-Level. We normally don't come to you on a Friday night, but we've got some stuff happening in our city, in our state. It's very controversial. We're talking about it. Tonight, I've got a really good friend that I'm going to bring up to the front. He is here in studio with me. A lot of our guests are virtual, but I invited this guy in the studio because I know him. And he needed to be live. Welcome to the On the Level with B-Level and the UTB podcast. My friend, attorney, Sylvester Smith. How you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good, and it's a privilege and an honor to be here. I apologize to your audience, but Friday night was the only night that you could waste on me because I only bring an audience of my grandma and my auntie. That's it.
Well, listen, you have been, normally I would say, I could probably let you say that, but you have been on the rapid fire the last couple of days. So I think that you are going to bring more than just your grandmother to this platform tonight. And we're going to get into why you have been on a rapid fire the last 24, 48 hours. But I always start off by welcoming everybody to the podcast. I need you to do me one huge favor. Hit the share button, okay? We don't charge you to watch this thing. The only thing we ask is that you hit the share button so it gets out to your friends. If you're watching us on YouTube, we ask you to hit the subscription button, hit the notification button so that when we do new content, you will be notified, okay? I am going to start off, as always, by doing an opening statement. And then we're going to come back and we're going to get into the business. We're going to talk about what's going on. Okay, tonight, we're diving into a situation that has Arkansas talking loud on both sides because this one hits respect, power, and principle. Our governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, is the sitting governor, was out having lunch when she was asked to leave a restaurant after about an hour of eating. The restaurant says it was policy. But not everyone else is buying that explanation. But here's the part that's raising eyebrows. The governor paid for her meal, she left the tip, and then she was told to leave. So now the question becomes, was that really about policy or was it about bad business? Joining me tonight is Sylvester Smith, a Black Republican who lit social media up after posting that the restaurant got it wrong. His stance, if you are going to enforce your policy, you just do it before you pay the bill, not afterwards. You've taken someone's money and then shown them the door. So tonight's question is, did the restaurant mishandle the situation? Is it about respect for the office or just a customer service gone wrong? And why has this sparked such a strong reaction across the state? Because this just isn't about one dinner. It's about expectations, accountability, and how people in power are treated when they step into everyday spaces. Again, I want to welcome to the platform attorney Sylvester Smith. All right, you good with that introduction of my open statement?
Hey, that was amazing. That was really amazing. You really took the approach of a journalist, and you touched upon both sides, and it was extremely objective.
So I want to do this, Sylvester, because I've known you well over 15 years. And I want to set this conversation up tonight by setting the stage of why we're here tonight, why you had this post, and why it struck so many people nerve. Okay, sometimes last week, and maybe you can help me out. Governor was having lunch with some friends. I don't know what day it was last week. Do you know what day it was?
It wasn't last week.
Okay, it wasn't last week.
It may have been 10 days ago or something of that nature.
So
it was not last week.
Okay, so it was almost 10 days, almost 2 weeks ago. Okay. At some point in time, and I mean, I know the name. I can't even pronounce the name of the business. Can you pronounce it? It is very difficult.
The Crotisserie is the way I believe.
The Crotisserie. All right. She was there having lunch, and at some point in time, she was asked to leave. Okay. Nobody knew about it. At some point in time, she decides to post on her social media, as she always does. And this was the post that she posted. She said, here we go. I'm going to put this up there and I'll put our faces. Last week, I was having lunch with 2 other moms at a restaurant when the owner approached a member of the state police executive protection detail and said my presence made their employees feel threatened and told us to leave. Our Kansans are known for their warm hospitality, and while the restaurant didn't meet that standard, my administration will continue to focus on lifting our Kansans up, not tearing others down. Okay, so she made that post. All right. At some point in time, the restaurant saw that, and they had 2 responses. Okay.
Well, but Level, I need to interrupt you because I want us to have a real organic conversation.
Go ahead.
Can you put the governor's post back up?
I'm gonna put it up here.
Now, one of the main points of attack that people have raised with this is why is the governor dragging this restaurant, and why did she even bring it up? Well, I think it's important to note that when the governor comes to your spot, people talk about it. They pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And when she's asked to leave, people see that, and people were talking about it in social media and in other spaces. And I think she felt compelled to share her thoughts about this because this narrative was out here. But please note, she doesn't mention the name of the restaurant in her post. They identified themselves. And so the first thing that people have said when they attack her is, why is she dragging this restaurant?
Okay.
Show me in that post where it names the restaurant.
It does not.
Okay.
It does not.
All right.
So, and so that we're clear, I want to know, obviously you're speaking for her. So have you had a conversation with her about this?
So wait, I want to be really clear because I used to work for the governor of Arkansas, who was her father.
Okay.
And you only speak for the governor of Arkansas if you've been authorized to do so. I've not been authorized to speak for the governor. I'm speaking for me.
Okay.
But I will say this. I did talk to one of the ladies that was there having lunch with her. So I do know what happened.
So you do know what happened?
I do.
Okay. But you did not hear it from the governor's mouth?
I did not.
Okay.
But I heard from the mouth of one of the ladies there were 3 ladies there with her. I spoke to one of them.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. Getting back to the story, at some point in time, the restaurant felt a need to comment on their perspective of what happened. And it was a very long, and it's so long that I can't read it all.
You know, while you're working on that next thought, it makes me think about something. When I was in the governor's office, my boss was a lady named Brenda Turner. She had a saying, the guilty dog always barks first.
It was long. And here's a 1 and a 2 page to it, right? And I will post the first response to what happened. And I'm thinking that it had something to do, and help me, I'm going to paraphrase it because I want to sum it up, that it made her employees and her customers uncomfortable.
Yes.
Is that basically, it's a long post, but basically I'm summing it up that's what I got from what they were saying happened.
And so here's, because people have been lighting me up for this. Like I pledged Noop, I won't say where because I won't create no problem. But these folks been riding me, giving me that heat like I was online again. Okay. And so one of the things that they have been saying is, and I know you'll get to that, well, there's a policy about how long you can be in the spot. And I respect that. But if you look at this first statement, and I'm going to show you, and I know you have this. This is from KTV.
Okay,
KTHV.
so let me put that one up.
Yeah, they
because I
made
do
a
have that
statement to
one.
them.
All right, so is that the post you're talking about?
Yes, and here's the thing, right? Full statement. When Governor Sanders arrived unannounced, staff served her and her party without interruption. As her security presence became more visible, some employees and guests expressed discomfort. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Why did they have to say she was unannounced? To me, that suggests, and they made another statement to another news outlet when they basically said that we didn't know she was there until after she had gotten seated, which suggests to me that if she had announced, we would have told her, don't come. You're not welcome here. If we had seen that she was there before she got served, we would not have even served her. Why is that? Why is the governor of Arkansas not welcome in your establishment that's open to the general public?
Okay.
That's problem number one.
That's problem number one. Okay.
Problem number two, this statement, which I believe is probably the second statement, because, like we're all men level. Me and you both been in a situation where your woman done caught you with something. And then your first response.
I have never been in that situation.
Oh, you done been in that situation. I done seen it on your podcast. And the first thing you say is, I was with the boys, right?
I was with my homies.
I was with Joe.
Yeah.
And then she says, well, okay, well, hell, I called Joe. Joe says you wasn't there.
Right.
Well, okay, but then you come back with that second story. So by this time, they had already said, that, if we had really known she was there, we wouldn't have served her to begin with. Well, people didn't respond to that because, well, what the heck is that about? And so now they've changed it up a little bit. But here's the thing. So they're trying to make it about her security presence. Let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. The governor of Arkansas, and I know this, I worked in that office. I've worked with the past 5 governors of Arkansas in various capacities. The governor's office, her security detail is Arkansas State Police.
Okay.
Plain clothes. They got on what I got on right now.
Okay.
How are they making people uncomfortable? And let's say that they are, right?
Okay.
So does the courtesy not serve law enforcement? If you're a cop, don't come here. Is that their policy?
So what I want to do is I think we still need to read their whole response because you're okay. All right.
That's fair.
So it says after the party completed the meal, all right, a member of the security detail was quietly asked to help conclude the visit in line with our standard 90-minute table policy. All right. The request was not immediately received, and the party remained for an additional period before departing without incident once communication was established. We want to be clear. All right. There was no disruption in the restaurant. Claims of an employee made an inappropriate gesture are incorrect, and it was a customer. And that situation has been addressed. This was not a decision made lightly. We choose to prioritize the comfort of our staff and guests while continuing to provide service respectfully and without escalation. Okay, now we're finished. Now okay. you can finish making your points.
All right. So this is where people have been roasting me. Oh, Sylvester, you make everything about politics. It wasn't about her politics.
Well, first of all, we got to put your statement up, right?
Yeah, put my statement.
I want to put your statement up next because we want to make sure we don't lose anybody. Here's what you said. Yes, was this yesterday you posted this?
Day before.
Okay. I believe in the right of private businesses to choose their customers, so long as they do not discriminate against people based on their race, gender, disability, and yes, sexual orientation. If a business owner wants to put partisan policies over profit, that is their business. However, I'm salty about this one because they took the governor's money, let her tip, and then threw her out. That's tacky as hell. So that was you.
That was me.
All right, so go ahead. So and so this is what lit people saying you were taking up for.
And I am taking up for. But I would take up for anybody in this situation. And here's the thing. And this is where the lawyer in me comes out.
Okay.
So what people have been roasting me for is you don't know the whole story.
Okay.
They're a busy restaurant. The line's outside the door. They have a 90-minute limit. It's posted everywhere.
Okay.
But if you look at what they said in their statement to KTHV, they said that about an hour into the visit, their maximum table time is 90 minutes.
Okay.
So at an hour into the visit, a staff member approached the security detail and asked them to encourage the governor to leave because she had already eaten. If you got a 90-minute policy, I come in, I pay. It's lunch. It's women. Women pay, they have lunch, they sit around and drink and they talk and gossip. That's what they do. And so I get it, 90 minutes. But why are you singling her out about an hour into the 90 minutes?
So
She's
you're
got 30
saying
minutes
that she
left.
had 30 minutes left and you were asking her to leave.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, if you go into the second part, that they approached her again with about 10 minutes before the 90 minutes, so about 80 minutes, saying,
Okay.
hey, you need to leave.
Okay.
Now, when I talked to my friend that was at that table, she said they were there 75 minutes total. That's less than 90.
Now, how
That's
does she
15
know?
minutes less
How does
than
she
90.
know that they were there 75 minutes? How does she able to keep up? When I go to eat lunch, I mean, I don't know when I'm coming. I don't even going. So how does she able to keep up with that? She was there for 75 minutes. How does she know that?
I'm gonna give you two reasons. Number one, there are signs on the table. It says 90 minutes.
Okay.
That's their policy.
Okay.
Number two, be level. And I want to be straight about this because, like the governor, she's my friend. I support her. This
Okay.
other lady, she's my friend too.
Okay.
I support her.
Okay.
But these are rich white women.
Okay.
They don't need no support and help and advocacy. How many times you think a rich white woman been thrown out of a restaurant? You think that woman doesn't know how long she was there and at what time she got up or thrown out? Come on, man. And here's the thing. Let's be real. This is what really frustrates me about the way colored folks have come for poor old Sylvester. Okay. This is a battle of two rich white women who own the restaurant and three rich white women, the governor and two of her friends.
Okay.
Why are they mad at me for sharing my opinion? why are they ready to go in war with post-Sylvester Blackbutt over this dispute between two groups of rich white women? Like, that's really what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Why isn't we so quick to
we can
join
get into
this
that.
other tribe against ourselves?
We could get into that. Now, when you posted that, Sylvester,
sure.
Somebody posted this, and I'm trying to understand what this post was about. Okay.
Yes.
Somebody put this post in your post, and this was this, are they employees? They have a whatever the name of the restaurant shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm assuming that they were employees. I don't know if that's safe to assume it or not. It says good morning, and it tags the government, and it says the amount of evil that you send our way can ever take smiles away. I'm proud of the work here. I'm proud to be gay, and I'm proud to be an Arkansan. My voice matters. Try again.
So this is the way I took that. If you look, and again, I'm a lawyer. I'm all about evidence. There's three people in the purple shirts that look to have the company's logo.
Right.
There's a fourth person with a purple hat that looks to have the company's logo.
Okay.
And this dude cheesing like he the Chester Cat seemed to be like he belonged with these people. Like this my tribe. These my folks.
Right.
And they say they're at the restaurant. So that suggests to me that, look, we're gay and proud, which, hey, I got no problem with.
Right.
None. Okay. And we don't want you here. So yeah, we threw your ass out and we throw you out again. That's the way I took it.
Well, I mean, and that's so let me ask you this, right? I mean, because we've got a million comments. And by the way, if you want to comment, there will be a time where I'll try to read your comments. Okay. There's going to be a lot of them, so I'm going to have to decipher which comment that I read, but I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I possibly can when some time. And also, I'm going to try to open the request line so that you guys can call. But when I do that, the first thing that I will say, all right, because I have rules to this podcast, and I didn't read the rules at first. I am going to always be respectful for my guests. Okay, so at any time, because he has come to my place. This is my house. And so I'm going to always be respectful to my guests. We don't mind you disagreeing, but what we're not going to do is we're not going to name call. We're not going to do none of that. We're going to be respectful. And hey, listen, I disagree with all of my co-hosts every week. So this podcast is not afraid of disagreeing. We just want to keep it player. We want to keep it respectful. Those are the rules. All right. And so at some point in time, I'm going to let the open request line. You can put your comment here, but I will take some calls, but I will be watching the clock, and I want to keep my calls limit to 2 minutes. OK. All right. So we've come up with that. We've got the people that we feel like is part of the community that's saying we kicked you out. My question to you.
We threw your ass out.
We threw you out.
And don't forget this part. And we'll do it again.
So what I'm understanding you to say is that you don't feel like it was a 90-minute policy issue.
No, it was a we don't like your politics issue because we support our community. And that was in the statement. They don't say who the community is, but the restaurant is owned by two lesbian ladies, which again, I got no problem with. And clearly some of the staff are gay. And for whatever reason, those people seem to have a problem with the governor's politics. And I don't have a problem with you having a problem with somebody's politics. My problem is when you say you can't eat here in this public establishment. And here's why it's really a problem for me, Level. Because one thing that I really can't stand is a hypocrite.
Okay.
And the gay community has rightfully, in my opinion, been fighting for years for equality and accommodations.
Okay.
They filed lawsuits because people have said, you and your man can't get married in my wedding venue because y'all gay and I'm Christian.
Okay.
Other people have said, I'm not going to bake no cake for your wedding because you and your wife is two women and I'm Christian. And gay people have sued over that and sometimes won. And I promise you, Level, these two ladies who own that restaurant, they were all for that because they don't want discrimination when they're the ones being discriminated against. But now that it's diversity of thought, you don't think like us. Well, it's okay for them to discriminate.
So you feel like
the
they was
governor.
discriminated against the governor because of her policy.
Her politics, her policies, yes.
Which part of her politics is her thought about gays. For some odd reason, I want to go back. I want to go back because you talked about they have a. So do you not feel like the restaurant have a right, which you said in your deal that they do, right? But your whole issue is she should have been told that before? Or is your argument that she should have been allowed to eat there because this is a public space and you're in the business of getting business? So why do you discriminate because of her policy that you don't agree with? So you don't feel like the owners can say, listen, I have a right to refuse business to you. I don't want your money. Take your business elsewhere.
So in Arkansas, I believe they do have the right to refuse people.
Okay.
But I got two problems with that.
Okay.
You need to exercise that right before you take my money. Don't take my money and my 25% tip, which they did leave, by the way, and then throw my butt out. That's problem number one. But problem number two, okay, just because they can doesn't mean they should. And part of the problem that we have in America right now is just this tribalism. And if you're not me, if you don't look like me, if you don't think like me, then I don't want to be with you or around you. And as a Black man who has been disinvited, disallowed, not allowed to use the bathroom, one of my earliest memories as a boy is growing up in Camden and not being allowed to use the restroom because I was Black. I have a very painful memory of being a 25-year-old man in Mississippi with my girlfriend at the time who was Black but looked white and being told, you can't eat in this restaurant because we're not comfortable with this relationship. So I know the pain of being denied a public accommodation and discriminated against. And so if you're going to say, as these two lesbian white women have, that you're for diversity and inclusion, then you need to be for diversity and inclusion. Because when you say that you're not welcome in my restaurant, if you don't think like me, that's not diversity and inclusion. It's discrimination. And so we can't say, well, it's okay to discriminate against the Republican governor, but when it's not okay to discriminate against the gay people, like it's either okay or it's not, Level.
Yeah. So do you? Well, discrimination is not okay in any form, right? Let's be honest about that. But when you were asking earlier, why are they getting on you, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree that Governor Huckabee, for the majority, would not be popular amongst Blacks?
Well, okay, so we're talking about Governor Huckabee Sanders.
Sanders, yeah, Huckabee Sanders. Like, let me make sure I respect and say her name, Governor Huckabee Sanders. Do you feel like for the majority, right?
I think that the majority of African Americans in Arkansas, and the data bears this out, they do not support her politically.
Okay,
and I know a lot about that because I am someone who supports her. It has very little to do about her and a lot to do with the fact that she worked for Trump. So she came in with a deficit
I agree with
among a
that.
lot of people. Now, if they sat down with her and they got to know her, then maybe they feel differently.
Would you agree that most of them don't side with her because of the policies? Did she not take Black histories out of schools?
So here's the thing, and I want to be really candid, because what I'm not going to do is speak on something that I don't have 100% understanding about, because that's where you you end up looking like a fool. Which, which my mama told me to work real hard not to do.
Okay.
I don't know that she did that, but I can certainly understand that there may be an argument to that effect because of this whole movement against that. Oh gosh, critical race theory or whatever.
Right.
And so if someone says, well, she supported this whole position against critical race theory, I think that's fair. And for them to say, I'm not going to vote for her or support her because of that, I think that's fair. But it's also fair to say that she hosts a Black History Month lunch at her home every year, and invites, hundreds of people. I think it's also fair to say that just last week she was at Sylvester Smith College promoting investment in historically Black colleges and universities. I can tell you for this, hold on for certain, that there was a bill in the legislature her first year in office to ban affirmative action in Arkansas. And if she had supported that bill, it would be the law. And it was not the law at that time. So I've seen her do things that Black people benefited from, at least in a small manner, but they don't know about because she's not out here bragging about it.
And let me just say this, just because she goes to Philander doesn't mean she's supported, right? Just because she shows up, it doesn't mean
that's fair.
So that's fair.
That's fair. But I can tell you, and I don't have the exact dollar figure, but her administration did make an investment in Philander Smith College.
Now that's support. That's support. Okay. So okay. Do you think that this situation would be viewed differently if Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders was a Black Democrat instead of a white Republican?
Yeah, and I so appreciate you putting that out. Yes, absolutely. The same people who would come to me with pitchforks would be at the criticary with the pitchforks and the torches. Here's the thing that is so critically important. In this day and age in our state, racism is not overt. It's not out in the open. It hides. It pretends to be something else. We have right now where we just elected 2 Black men, 1, the Black county judge, 2, the Black prosecutor. If we say this is okay, what do we say when Cothams says that Judge Wendell Griffin isn't welcome there because we don't like the fact that he killed this nonprofit project? If we say this is okay, then what happens when Homer says Bobby Forrest isn't welcome there because we feel like we don't like his policies where he allows too many people to get first offender status and clear their record? But really he don't make us comfortable because we don't like the way his hair looks. But we're gonna say it's politics.
Yeah. And some say that's I would say to the rebut to that. I mean, he probably has. Maybe he's not been kicked out of a restaurant, but I would probably, if I would ask him, which I didn't, he has been on the platform. But some people would argue that he's probably has seen some type of racism before.
God,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me. I wanna jump a couple of comments and
let's do it.
Tamla McElroy say they are mad. They are mad at you because if just 3 white women, why are you so biased for Huckabee? There was a policy. She went over it and she was asked to leave. Why is this so important to you? Not knowing if this has been done to anybody else. If she allowed her service, I guess they say if she allowed her service, as far as you, I think you have an agenda on the line. You can't claim her to be biased.
So here's the thing. I don't work for the governor. I'm a private business owner.
Right.
So my agenda is justice. And so I want to be clear. And this is one thing that I've said and I will continue to say. If it was Chris Jones, who's also a dear friend of mine,
right?
I mean, I slept at a bunk bed above his as a kid. I would be even madder. And I would be pushing even harder. Matter of fact, I would be leading a protest in front of the restaurant if they had done this to Chris Jones.
Right.
The point that I'm making is we as Black people can't afford to say it's okay to do it to this white woman or this gay person, because then we have no credibility when it's done to Chris Jones.
Right.
Now, as to the policy, that's just not accurate. They have a 90-minute policy. They asked her to leave. In an hour.
In an hour.
So no, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the way they do us. They have a rule, but when it's us, they don't even let us get the whole time under the rule. And so we need to just, as Black people, be consistent. We can't sit on our hands when someone else is discriminated against and abused and mistreated, and then expect everyone to come join us when it's us. We need to just call out injustice wherever it is and whoever's the victim of it. And that's what I will do. And so
you've made it known that you are a Black Republican, and obviously one would say that your vested interest is because she's in the same party as you. Would you be this? No. Would you be this excited? Would you be this much upfront if it was a Democrat? If it wasn't the person that you endorse politically, would you be this?
Well, let me be clear. The wise business person who only supports Republicans or Democrats is a damn fool. I support the best candidate. I have supported Democrats, Republicans, independents. I support whoever's best for the job.
Okay.
So let's get that straight.
Okay.
Secondarily, I have said a lot of horrible things about President Trump that I believe are true. And so just because you're a Republican doesn't mean that I'm going to speak up for you, just because I don't do that. I speak up for people that I believe in, that I agree with. And the governor's done some things that I don't agree with. And I've called her out on that. I've told her that, like, I don't like that policy, but she's the governor. People voted for her, not me. So she gets to do what she chooses to do. So I don't need people to think that, oh, Sylvester's a sheep, and if you're a Republican, he's for you. If he's a Democrat, he's against you.
Fair enough.
That's not true.
Fair
but
enough.
What we need to be mindful of is right now, Chris Jones is running for U.S. Congress.
Right.
Fred Love is running for governor against Sarah. What happens when someone throws Fred Love out of a restaurant because they don't like his policy, or they do this to Chris Jones? What people need to understand is when Democrats do this to Republicans, Republicans look for opportunities to do it to Democrats.
Right.
And it will be us that it's getting done to. So let's just be real about this.
All right. I want to open the request line. I'm going to ask the question is, do you think the restaurant was wrong for asking the governor to leave their establishment? Okay. I've got a lot of comments here. I'll try to dive through some of them. But if you want to call, all right, keep your comments limited to 2 minutes. The number is on the screen, 501-650-9726. Again, 501-650-9726. Right or wrong? These are you can answer this right or wrong, Sylvester. All right, this is the only two answers you can give me, right or wrong.
Come on, man. You need
Here's
to know
the
better than
question.
that.
No, the restaurant handled this poorly.
Yes, absolutely. They did.
They should have refused service up front.
That certainly would have been one way to handle it.
Okay. But
here's
you would have been cool with that. You would have had a problem with that.
I would have had a problem with it, but not the same problem. I would have said, hey, look, they shouldn't do that because, again, other people will do that to Chris Jones or Fred Love.
And your argument is if 3 gay people came and they refused service to gay people, it would be just as wrong as
that's exactly
because
right.
You refused service to him because of her policies, because of her beliefs.
Now, let's be clear. These people ain't gonna refuse service to gay people because they gay.
Right.
But if these ladies who own this place go to Sims Barbecue and they say, look, now, we don't believe in that gay stuff, you're not welcome here, I would stand up and say that is wrong. We shouldn't do that. We need to, we have to get past all that.
Yeah. All right. The request line is open. The comment line, you guys said y'all want to call. It is now time. 501-650-9726. Tonio Dickerson is saying, Sarah, we got somebody already. I knew they're going to be calling. All right. Let's see if we can get them here. All right. All right. Unpacking the Baggage podcast. What's your name and where you calling from?
This Marquez.
What's up, Marquez TV?
What's up with you, my man?
Tell me your comment. You got a couple of minutes, Marquez.
Okay, my problem is this. He says that she was denied because of her politics. Well, I disagree with that, and I don't know how he came up with that, with the fact of that, because if she was going to be denied by these people, gay, straight, or whatever, because of her policies and politics, why would they have even allowed her into the restaurant and even served her for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or however long? I just feel like that's just something that he's using as an excuse for these owners to have asserted their policy that they had that said 90 minutes. You can't go into a restaurant, no matter who you are, sit there, eat, and then after eating, pay your bill, and then just continue to sit there and talk. It's time for you to go. You paid your bill. You've eaten, you paid your bill. It's time to go. If you want to talk, go to the governor's mansion and sit there and talk.
Was that your okay? All right. I'm gonna let him respond to that. Is that all you have? Is that all?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna hang up and let you listen to this response. Okay.
Yeah. So let me. I'm not gonna give you my response. I'm gonna give you the restaurant's response that they gave to KTHV. When we became aware that the governor had arrived at the restaurant unannounced, we were surprised and uncertain how best to respond. So if it was just about the 90 minutes, then what is it about her being there unannounced that was a problem? Why were they surprised that she was there? And why they have to be uncertain about how to respond? She's just there eating, which is what you do. And so everybody wants to keep going back to this 90-minute thing. They asked her to leave
before the 90 minutes.
So, come on, man. Like, look, here's the thing. And I'm going to keep saying this because that's just the way it is. You got to say stuff more than one time for people to catch it.
Okay.
Y'all not catching this. What's going on here? Right? These folks said we made her leave because she made us uncomfortable. What? Now, they didn't tell us in their statements what made them uncomfortable. Their employees are the ones that start talking about this gay stuff. But what happens when me and Level up in there talking trash and we make these white people, if 2-3 white women make white women uncomfortable, what are me and Level going to be doing up in there?
Sanja Pike is saying,
tell us y'all made us uncomfortable.
Sanja Pike is saying the restaurant has a right to refuse service to anyone. Sean Moden is saying gay people and black people don't show up with a security detail line. The governor and your homegirl do, LOL. They were inconveniencing the flow of the restaurant. She wasn't denied service. She was served so well she tipped. This ain't the hill to die on, bro, because you seem reasonable and professional.
Well, thank you, Sean. But here's the thing, Sean, that I'm going to tell you. Number one, I not only spoke to someone at the governor's table, but I heard from another friend of mine that was there when it happened. And he said she wasn't causing any disruption, and neither was her security, that nothing was a problem until the people came and told her she needed to go. So unless you were there, Sean, which I'll do respect because I appreciate your tone, like, I'm telling you what the people who were there said to me. Mm-hmm. And again, I want to remind everybody, the governor got thrown out of a place. She talked about it on social media. She didn't name them. They named themselves and started telling people what happened. And they done told 3 different stories. So Sean, when your man get caught out at midnight with lipstick and perfume on, and he got not 1, not 2, but 3 different stories, his butt is lying. Okay? So the restaurant is lying, Sean. Like, let's just keep it real. They don't like her policies, whatever the heck they are. I'm not gay. I don't know what her policies is that they don't like. I'm not going to pretend to know. All I know is this, right? It's her today. It'll be you tomorrow. I do know that. If these white folks got problems and they uncomfortable by 3 rich white women, let me and you and B-Level get in there arguing about the space game and how the fact that B-Level reneged 4 times, okay? And I had cars falling out of my pocket. See how uncomfortable they are then? Right. So we do not need to be in the business of throwing folks out of places because they make others uncomfortable. Because I'm telling you, I've been in many a situation, even dressed like this, where some white women have been uncomfortable.
One would argue that when I guess when the governor shows up, obviously, it would be good for business, right? I mean, so when you say that there might be some personal issues. I didn't know that the owner was a part of the community. I didn't know.
Both owners, there's 2 owners. They're both lesbians. Which again, I got no problem with. I have no problem with nobody except for people who abuse children, the disabled, and animals. Okay. All right. That's it. Like, I don't have problems with people. I accept everybody.
So the request line is open. Marquez, you guys had a lot of comments that y'all were talking on Facebook. Now is the time to put them out here. I'm gonna read some more of these comments. Misty says, is it common to have a time limit to sit at a table in a restaurant in Little Rock? I have never been to a restaurant anywhere, even in Little Rock, and know that there was a time limit to seat. So obviously this is one. Tamla McElroy is saying, stop it.
I'd like to respond to that.
Okay, go ahead.
That's not common, but it's justified here. That place is new, it's hot. They got a line outside the door. So I stand on their right to have a time limit.
Okay, all right. Tamla McElroy is saying, stop it. When she says that, which was done I guess she's trying to say on purpose. Stop it. When she says that, which was done on purpose is what she's saying. Sean Moding is saying, I never have a man. The fuck?
Hold on, I didn't say that. Boy, I never said that. I said when your man comes home late. Yeah, so I'm not insulting anybody.
Yeah, JD is saying, but in the end, they let her stay. Her and the whole armed entourage.
Well, there were only 2 executive protection people who, again, are licensed state police officers in plain clothes, and they were not bothering anybody. They go everywhere with the governor. They always have. And I've worked in and around the governor's office for 20 years, and I've never heard of this being a problem anywhere. And so, again, if you're going to say it was the executive protection, well, then do you not allow police officers? What's the difference?
Yeah. JD is saying, asking Chris, I guess you were talking about Chris Jones, to leave because he is black would be much different than asking Sarah to leave over politics.
So I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that, because I want you to understand my comment. They will ask Chris to leave in their heart because he's black, but they will say that it's because of his politics. And that's what I'm saying. We don't need to be supporting this discrimination, because ultimately it will always be us that's discriminated against. These people in your audience are forgetting the recent history that we have here. It always comes back to us. We are always the easy target. And so that's why when I see wrong and discrimination, I stand up. I don't care who it is.
Okay. Sean Gaddison is saying, I bet our state would be worse off had she been Democratic with those policies in Arkansas. Sheena McDaniel says she hides her true colors. Let's see. Tonio Dickerson is saying the use of the phrase colored folks is degrading, outdated, and offensive.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? I'm a black man. I've been a black man all my life. I get to use whatever phrase I want to describe myself in my community that I like to use, as long as it's not derogatory. And so, I stand on that. Colored people, African-American people, black people, and we don't have the same hue and we don't have the same thoughts. And I know a lot of people that are offended by African-American and others that are offended by black. And so I get it. I respect that, but I'm not trying to offend anybody.
Gotcha. Sure. Sheena McDaniel is saying, Sylvester, stop lying. You only like her because of her father. Did you know her when she was at OBU? I do that clinic. I do that. She said, I knew that chick doesn't like black people.
Okay,
is what she said.
So let me be really clear about something. Her father helped change my life and make me who I am. I've known her since she was probably 15, and she was always kind and respectful to me. I didn't really interact with her much at OBU. I spent a lot of time with her once she started her professional career. We spent significant time together, and I've been with her around lots of black people. I danced to hip hop at her inauguration, and I'm not even gonna say which version of the song she played, but she went to Central High. Like, Sarah is cool people. Now, that don't mean you have to like her politics, right?
Yeah, close to the mic, Sylvester.
Oh, yeah, she's cool people. And she's a real person. She's down to earth. And I think if people spent time with her, they would like her as a person. But that doesn't mean you have to like her politics, right? But she is a cool person, and she's not a racist.
Okay. Kim Kardashian is saying, why even take it to the news? She basically said, oh, how dare you put me out? I'm the governor. I'm going to hurt their business by going to the news.
And I appreciate that, Kim. But, first of all, I've never seen the governor thrown out of any place in the state of Arkansas, ever. ever. And secondarily, she didn't name them in her post. They named themselves.
That was different. When you say that you've never seen the governor, do you believe because she's the governor she gets special privileges? Let me ask you that, since you said
Yes.
you've never. So
Yes.
you believe because she is the governor, she should get more privileges than regular people, everyday people that patronize this spot?
No. I'm not saying that she should be treated better than
Differently.
the taxpayers that she works for. But I am going to tell you, as somebody who's experienced with governors, go back to Jim Guy Tucker, the governor has always gotten special treatment. Do you understand? Like, I was a 24-year-old kid, nobody working in that office, and I could call CEOs of businesses in this state. I would get a call back within 4 or 5 hours because I'm calling from the governor's office. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? We get thousands of letters every month asking the governor to come to events and business openings. Many Arkansans want the governor to be at their places. And so yes, it's rare.
And while I do believe that they didn't tell us the truth, the reasons why, right? I think that our opinions that if I get on this podcast and I say, flip whoever, and then I go to a business that owned by somebody that I just said flipped, I think it's crazy, Sylvester, to think that they're not going to want me there, right? So it's been known that she doesn't support gay marriages and all of those things with the Trump administration. That it's been known that she does. So would it be safe to say? Go ahead.
Hold on. Again, I need to be clear. I am not a gay person. Okay, I don't understand why women like me, and that's how not gay I am. But so I don't know what these policies are, but I do try to stay on top of things. And frankly, so I'm not going to say these people don't have a right to feel whatever they feel, but I can't sit up here and agree that she's done something to somebody.
Well, I guess
I don't know anything.
I guess what I'm trying to get you to understand, if I said, hey, I hate all short people.
Yeah, but no one is saying she said that.
Well, and I'm making a point, right? I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying that if I made my opinion very public on my beliefs, and I went to patronize somebody, whether I say I dislike short people, and I don't, but I'm saying if I said that, and then I went to a restaurant that a short person owns, they might take offense to that, and they might not want to serve me. And I think that's because I don't think that what they said was the true reason, Sylvester. I really don't. I don't think it was a 90-minute policy. I think that if I am a restaurant owner, I'm probably going to let her stay there a little longer, because I'm going to assume, and that's just my assumption, that she might bring more business. That's going to be my assumption.
Mine too.
But I am saying that her policies and some of her beliefs and some of the actions that she's done in the governor seat that she is, probably is the real reason why she was kicked out.
Absolutely. And
I think we're safe to say that.
And I want to be clear. I do know that there are people in the gay community who don't support her. But
bring your mic closer to you, Sylvester. Bring it closer to you.
I do know that
you can bring it closer.
Yeah, okay. I got you. I do know there are people in the gay community that do not support her for whatever reason. And I'm not here to say that they don't have legitimate reason, that there's not some policy that she supported or whatever that they don't like. What I'm saying is this, okay? We need to always respect the office. And that's where we're getting far from the right field here in America. And I need to own that Republicans have been some of the worst actors in that whole process, right? And so we need to get back to, let's respect the office. We don't have to agree with you, but we respect the office. And so I'm not saying that she should have been allowed to stay there 3 hours, but she was a paying customer. She paid. The policy was 90 minutes. They threw her out before the 90 minutes. And their employees are celebrating, and they're talking about their gayness, not the governor. And so clearly that suggests to me that this was something about her and her policies. And my problem with us in our community, whatever you want to call people who look like us, is that if President Obama had been sitting in Homer's, and the owner of Homer said, I don't like that you supported gay marriage, so I want you to leave, all these people who are roasting me would be the first to say that was absolutely wrong.
Well, and I think blacks are more sensitive to blacks. Gays are more sensitive to gays. So to your point, I agree with that. This was a situation that I believe that she I don't. Which she went to a place that was owned by somebody of the community, right? I feel like they know her stance on the gays and all of that, and I think they were offended, and I think that they didn't want her to be there.
Okay.
I do agree. I do agree that she didn't sneak in the restaurant, right? I mean, you notice when the governor is coming, that's, you know, when we realized she was there, you realized she was there when you walked in because she didn't sneak. I do agree with you. Probably should have said, hey, we don't want your service. We don't want to serve you. But I do know that the real reason that they gave us, and this Tara Hatchett is saying there has to be some missing content. What happened to this customer? So this has
the governor was the customer.
Yeah, we don't have all of the information.
They threw her out.
Yeah, we don't have all the information. I guess what people are arguing is that people have a right to serve who they want to serve. People have the right. All money is not good money is what they're saying. Another reason why I feel like the people that were going, you know, against you in this post, most of them probably would be black, and it is known that most black don't side with Sarah's policy, the governor's policies. And so that was probably the reasons why you caused so much smoke in the post.
And listen, I fully expected that, and I understand it, and I'm accustomed to it. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things to be in America is a black Republican, especially in the South. I get it. I'm an easy target. But what I will always do, hold on, Level, what I will always do is just be consistent. And I would say the same thing if it was Fred Love or Chris Jones, because right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, let me just say this other piece about this whole thing about the restaurant and their right to whatever. They have that right, and they're not losing any money. They still got lines out the door, and they will, because that's what happens when you open a new spot in a place like this. But ultimately, it's about the hypocrisy for me. Because those two gay women who own that place, they support diversity and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be mad as hell if some other restaurant denied services to a person because they don't support homosexuality. That they would call that disgusting behavior, as would I. And so all I'm saying is, no matter what principles and values level should be like a clock. And it shouldn't matter whether it's AM or PM. When that clock hits that number, the time should always be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so it shouldn't matter if it's Sylvester or the governor or a gay person. If we're against discrimination, we're against discrimination.
Right.
And when we make exceptions for people who don't look like us, then we have zero credibility when we want to fight discrimination when it is us. That's all I'm saying.
Marquez Miller is saying, ask him, would he vigorously represent a black gay man in a lawsuit who is suing Huckabee Sanders when she is totally wrong? If they tried to hire him as the attorney, would you represent?
I absolutely respect that question. I honestly, truly appreciate it. No, I would not represent them. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Not because they're gay and black. I represent plenty of gay and black people that have been right and wrong, because I do criminal defense work as well. So some of my clients are dead ass wrong, and I get it. Right. But they have a constitutional right to not get the full punishment of the law, and I try to help them with that.
Right.
I would not represent that person because the governor is a friend of mine. I try not to be in the business of suing my friends. I politely refer them to somebody else. And if they gave me permission, I would call the governor. I say, Governor, now listen, this person showed me this. They talked to me. I think you did wrong. And I think you might want to just try to figure this out and pay them.
Right.
You know? Right. But I would not take them as a client.
Because it would be a conflict.
It'd be a conflict for all kind of reasons.
JD is saying most, and we're wrapping up here, y'all. So if you want to call, we're wrapping this thing up. Most, not a few gay people, don't support her for very valid reasons. It's disingenuous to act like Sarah has done nothing to harm vulnerable communities right here in Arkansas.
So Level, I have to respond to that.
Okay.
Because I want to be very clear, and I am consistent about things that I do not know. I have not one time on this podcast said that she did nothing to that community. What I said is I am not informed about those policies that they have a problem with. So I want to be really clear about that.
Sonia Pike is saying Republicans should set the examples. They started this.
Hey, Sonia, I totally agree with that. And you know what? We need to be better. And we have the opportunity in DC because the presidency, the Congress here in Arkansas, to do better. And we need to set that example. Someone has to be the first person to say enough is enough. And let's get back to civil disagreement and civil discourse. So I agree with you 1,000%.
Sheena McDaniels is saying, what good has she done in this office?
Oh, I could give you a long list of things that she's done in office, reducing taxes, reducing the size of government, investing in private education for people who couldn't afford it.
With the LEARNS Act?
Yeah, with the LEARNS Act. So I could give you a long list of things.
3 more comments. Did she go there?
Oh, I like that. Did she go there on purpose? Because one of my friends on Facebook said this. They said she knows that the gay people don't like her, so why she even go to the gay people restaurant? And so what the hell is that? So the solution is the governor of Arkansas should discriminate against any businesses owned by gay people. So that's what they're saying, that she should discriminate against gay people. What? Like, what is going on in the world? Like, we want equity and inclusion, but the solution is discrimination. Like, why are you going to the gay people spot anyway? What? That makes no sense.
Tamala McElroy saying, where do you stand on George Floyd, Train, Martin, Tamir Rice, etc.? I know where the governor stands.
I don't think you do know where the governor stands. George Floyd was a travesty. That man should absolutely be alive. Can you go back?
Okay, here we go.
Trayvon Martin, that was insane. A young black man armed with a bag of Skittles gets murdered. Tamir Rice, absolutely. I am against all of that. And all those people who pull those triggers should be in prison. That's my position. And I would have the same position if the races were different. Like when you have a gun and a badge, you have a duty to protect and serve, not cowardly pull triggers because of a situation you don't know enough about.
Kimberly Kardashian is saying the LEARN Act is hurting education more than it's helping.
I can't speak to that. I don't have the data.
Sheena McDaniel says she has food at home.
You know what? We just need to stop reading comments from Sheena McDaniel. We all got food at home, Sheena. That's what my mom used to tell me about McDonald's. We got McDonald's at home. Mama, we did not have McDonald's at home, and I hope you watching. What you had at home was you had no filet of fish and no vanilla milkshake, Mama. Okay.
So if you had an opportunity, Sylvester, to give us a last comment, right, to take us out of here on this situation that happened, what is, and I'm gonna blow you up here, what is your last comments going out of here about the situation that happened? Slide over to the left a little bit, Sylvester, so I can go slide over this way. Yeah, there you go. All right, you're in the camera. What's your last comment to this situation, to the restaurant? I'm gonna give you one last comment taking us out of here.
Yeah. Listen, you're in business to do business, not to play politics. And let's just treat other people the way we want to be treated. And let's, if you want to be accepted where you go, let's accept other people when they come to your place, because we don't all look alike. We don't all love alike. And we don't all have the same background and experience. And that's what diversity is supposed to be about. Diversity is the best thing about America. And I'm going to quote President Bill Clinton. He said, there's nothing wrong with America that can't be fixed by what's right with America. And I would stand up for my friend, the governor, when I feel like she's done wrong. She was asked to leave. She left. There was a policy. The restaurant did not honor the policy. And here's the most important thing that everybody keeps talking about. Where are the comments from the other people that have been asked to leave early too, if that's what they were doing that day? I haven't seen anybody else say, because I've talked to other people that were there, that they were asked to leave at an hour after they finished their meal. And I support this 90-minute policy. It makes good sense because they are packed and they want to make as much money as they can to turn their tables over. But let's just be honest. Let's tell, when you run a business, you have employees, you're a leader. You should have told your gay employees who were made uncomfortable by a white woman sitting there eating quietly that we don't have to agree with her to tolerate her. Let's give her the same tolerance that we want to receive when we're someplace else. One of the worst things Republicans ever did, and let me criticize my own people, is some Republicans created some bill to prohibit drag queens from going into libraries and reading books. And I want to tell you, I've been around this state capitol for 30 years. I ain't never seen a drag queen at the state capitol until they started messing with them. And it was like hundreds of drag queens at the state capitol. You know, so let's just treat these people the way we want our people to be treated when they're at a place. We don't want them to be made to feel uncomfortable because they're different. And homosexuals, that community has been fighting for the past 50 years to not be treated wrongly or differently because they make somebody feel uncomfortable. So now that you own the place, just give all of us the same courtesy and kindness that you have been fighting so hard and rightfully for a half century, because we all deserve that.
Well, again, thank you, Sylvester. You've always, every time I call you, you pick up. When I saw the post, I said, "Man, we got to get Sylvester on." You know, I do believe, I'll say this, that the real reason probably wasn't told to us. But I also believe that a person has the right to say, "I don't want your money." And it's unfortunate. I do understand when you say, you know, you have did somebody wrong, which was a governor, and you know, I do understand that people don't agree with a lot of things she do. But I do want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for explaining your post. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for understanding that this racial thing with the Democrats and the Republicans, it is probably going to be a thing that goes on. It's probably not going to cease. I do know that blacks, a lot of times, the policies that the Republican Party put out are not kind to a lot of the blacks, and so that's a lot of the reasons why, you know, blacks are not resonating with Governor Huckabee, and that's just the facts.
Yeah, but level C. So now I gotta say something else.
Come
right?
on, I'm gonna let you. Go ahead.
I used to be a Democrat. I used to bring them cigarettes and make coffees for them at the Capitol while they were making laws.
Okay.
I served on the Democratic Party State Committee, which was the governing body for the Democratic Party in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats ran our state until about 15 years ago. And you know what, level? Black people were still poor. Black people were still marginalized. Black people didn't have requisite power commensurate with what we were giving the Democratic Party. We were voting for them 90%. They weren't making us rich in our community. They weren't truly investing in us. Here's the sick joke that Black people need to get. We fight like cats and dogs about this partisan stuff. And then these folks, a lot of whom are white, they sit and they smoke cigars and they drink, Democrats and Republicans. The joke's on us, because especially when you get to Congress, most of them are all rich. And the thing that makes us different is we are not. And so what we really need to do, level, is whether it's a Democrat or Republican or whatever, what are you doing for us? What are you going to invest in our community? One of the things that disgusts me most about recent Democratic Party elected officials, Barack Obama was president. I can tell you 50 Black men who should have been pardoned during this administration, and he didn't give them pardons to, right?
Right.
But Donald Trump pardoned Lil Wayne. Why didn't Obama pardon Lil Wayne for that silly stuff he had done 15 years before? And so, look, I don't care what political label you wear. What I care about is this. What are you doing to help people, especially people who look like me? And they all come up short in that regard. And that's the truth.
Well, again, thank you again for coming on. Thank you for explaining. I certainly appreciate that you have a voice. I certainly appreciate. And again, this platform, I welcome for people to disagree, right? I don't run a platform that's biased, that only see things one way. So thank you for being bold. Thank you for being loud. Thank you for coming on and sharing your opinion. And I mean, I've given you the last time to take us out, so I think we'll close with that.
Hey, I appreciate you. Level, look, I do have to say this.
Go ahead.
I'm a huge fan. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me here. And I had to make this work when you invited me. And thank you to your audience. Everybody was respectful in the way that they disagreed. And this is really what our community should be about. Like, we can disagree without being disagreeable. So thank you. And thank you to your audience.
Again, don't forget, every Sunday we have I think I do have the best podcast crew ever. We do this thing every Sunday, 7:00. Little Rock Princess, Tristan Hobbs, Anthony P, Candy Webb, Jayla with a T. Hey, listen, if you have not listened to us on Sunday, you are missing out on a treat. We do this thing every Sunday, 7 p.m. Please don't forget. On Wednesdays, we have On the Level with B-Level, where we have extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. You talked about Bobby Forrest Jr. We had him on this month. Last week, we talked to Tracy Johnson. And this Wednesday, we're going to talk to Rashawn Wilburn. He's doing the Black Rodeo. That's next weekend. And he is the owner of Top Choice Auto Group. Okay. Don't forget, every Sunday.
Had another rough conversation with the voices in